This is another in the first read series where I read a poem by a poet I don't know or know very little about. I just do a first reading for the sheer joy of it, not reading to explain it or to teach it or anything like that. And I might read it differently if I knew more about the poet's work. That usually changes how I see their themes and things like that. This one is from Black Box Manifold. It's a British online journal. Great little journals. A lot of really famous people from around the world in this one. I'm going to look at Judith Beveridge. I pulled down here just because her name's not at the top of the page. Judith Beveridge. And I don't know anything about her. So she's an Australian poet. I didn't read anything more than that, though. I'm just going to read it. So this is Incense. I always look at a form for something before I read it. This one just jumps out at me as it looks like traditional blank verse, unrhymed iambic pentameter, but I don't think it is. It just has that form, that kind of boxiness that it does. It's too long for a sonnet or something like that, with that boxiness of it. But just looking at the lines, the merchant told me the scent will drive away, trouble and despair purify the base instincts. Okay, so it's definitely not. The syllable count's not, the right number per line, but that's okay. And I don't see any rhymes on the end, so I'm just going to treat it as an open form and go from there. So incense. All right, incense. Not much to go off of there. The merchant told me this scent will drive away. This feels very narrative-like in this, almost just plain narrative, like you're just speaking, telling a story in this one. It's not trying to be that poetic. The merchant told me this scent will drive away trouble and despair and purify the base instincts. But this would be great if incense could do this. And I think our attention is drawn to the merchant told me this. This idea that somebody's telling you that this is going to happen, which we know from experience is probably not true that this is going to happen. If incense could do this, we would all have it in our house to do this whenever we wanted to. I'd love to drive away trouble with some incense instead of having to deal with it in real life. But there we go. He drew it slowly under his nose, said it was made from Himalayan poppy. I love this image of drawing the incense slowly under his nose. It's like drawing a cigar or something like fine under your nose because you can sense what it's going to do. That its oil was difficult to extract, impossible to imitate. I like these are great images here. Like it is just a story, like this merchant showing you this. He's pulling it under his nose. The difficulty of extracting the oil is what makes it, so potent. But when you think about it, that doesn't make that much sense. But, it's something as humans we're drawn to, the difficulty of things, the challenge, the scarcity of it as it is. When it lit would provide me with all I need to know about grace and ardent desire. Oh, that would be awesome. Maybe you could just light some incense and you would have it. You would understand grace and desire like this. He took another stick. Told me its scent was made from buds that blossomed after dark. Like just the same kind of thing. It's the difficulty, the mystery of it, right? Under the influence of a spotted nightjar calling only during a new moon. Yes, this is, where this comes from. Mixed with musk, it will stimulate kindness. Infused with linalool. Linalool, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. I don't know that word. Or aloe. It will induce prophetic dreaming. This would be great if you could, do an incense and you'd have prophetic dreaming. And maybe in some alternate world that the rest of us don't know about, this actually happens. But it's unlikely. If added to saffron, the pulverized wood of a Persian oud, it will link the mind to insight and maintain serenity in the home. This would be great if you just take it, mix it with a little saffron, and then you have serenity in the home. No matter what, it's just serenity in the home. Is the smell of some incense going to change all the difficult things that could happen in any home? I had asked if he had a scent that could help me interpret the throbbing sensations in my right eye and left leg and increase patience and calm. So it's like, this is great. The speaker asked for something specific. I have throbbing sensations in my arm and leg. And do you have something for that, right? And in peace, patience, and calm, I think a lot of us would like that, especially if you have throbbing sensation in your leg, which is not going to make you super calm. He asked my zodiac sign and suggested a blend of jasmine, pine, cinnamon, myrrh, which must be burned at dawn while I wear a ring of fire opal and carry a handkerchief with embroidered phoenix. All right. It's what we want, I think, as humans here, is the quick fix. So it's pretty easy to sometimes disguise it, and sell it to us in a way that seems somehow authentic or real or, mystical, that we can get it and fix it. Later, as smoke rose in my rooms, it's just a simple transition here. We're not in the store anymore. It feels like we're somewhere else. Later, as smoke rose in my rooms, I detected only ground fungus, the dung of goats, and the singed wool of a dead ram. I cursed the seller who duped me, but he was right about one thing. Just as he said, the smell lasted long. This is kind of this horrible after smell, instead of this, at least pleasant smell. And, all the other desires didn't happen. I like it. It's a very, very much a short. It feels like a short story poem. The language, except for this one thing, like I said, I didn't know earlier. Language is fairly straightforward. It's something you would see in everyday life. The desires are fairly human here too, and so there's this kind of sense in which you want these things to calm you, give you serenity, make you understand grace, but they're not so easy. And that desire for the quick fix often does leave us with this bad aftertaste, after smell, as it is. So I like this one. It's like just a short little story poem. There's not a whole lot going on specifically in terms of poetic form or techniques that jump out at me. The poet doesn't do a lot of internal rhyme or anything like that. Just hits you with the plot of it. So nice.